Chapter 1.
Breaking news. Life just randomly happened. Scientists are now telling us that life, yes, actual, breathing, thinking, meme-making life just poofed into existence from a lucky chemical soup billions of years ago. Let's get this straight. One day there was a puddle. That puddle was full of chemicals. And then, through a totally unexplained, never-before-seen, but totally real process, bam! Life happened, and here we are using Wi-Fi to debate it. But wait, what is abiogenesis? Abiogenesis is the idea that life arose spontaneously from non-living chemicals without any intelligent guidance. According to this theory, at some point in Earth's early history, basic chemicals somehow organized themselves into complex molecules, which then somehow formed self-replicating structures, which somehow became the first primitive cells. Notice how somehow keeps showing up? Yeah, that's a problem. This means that at one point, there were just chemicals, and the next moment, boom, life began. No blueprints, no programmer, no intelligence, just raw, mindless physics magically making life happen. But here's the problem. Trust the science, even if it's not science. Now, before you ask, has this ever been observed? No, of course not. Silly you, science doesn't work like that anymore. Who needs observation when you have imagination? Abiogenesis has been tested in labs for decades. Bro, scientist, we see you and has failed every single time. But it must have happened because we're here. Circular reasoning at its finest. What's more, no scientist ever saw it. Imagine the same guy demanding, seeing, and believing. As if he sees his own memory in his closet. And let's not forget, if you doubt it, you just don't understand science. Why can't abiogenesis be observed in a lab? If abiogenesis really happened naturally on early Earth, then we should be able to recreate it in controlled laboratory conditions, right? Well, here's why that never works. Time constraints. Evolutionary scientists claim it took millions or billions of years for life to appear. Unfortunately, no scientist has that kind of patience. Now ask yourself, can these millions of years be observed? Yet the atheist in the name of science wants us to believe this as science, but at the same time claiming that he as an atheist believes only what is observed.
Wow.
If one has to lie straight and fool people, we can't see it today because perfect conditions are missing. Take note, this perfect condition assumes order to produce an output. But atheist claims it's chance, that is, randomness, produced the output. The early Earth supposedly had just the right mix of heat, lightning, chemical soups, and magic to make abiogenesis happen. Yet, when scientists try to replicate those conditions, all they get is a mess of chemicals and zero life. Yet, we have to believe this unobserved reality just because our all-wise atheist says it. But don't forget, this guy will believe only what he sees. Seeing and believing is his rule. Intelligent intervention. Atheist scientist, not God. Any lab experiment trying to create life is run by highly intelligent scientists adjusting variables, meaning it's not natural, but guided. If intelligence is required to create life in a lab, then how did it happen without intelligence by random chance billions of years ago? Self-replication is a mystery. Even if you somehow get complex molecules to form, they still have to start copying themselves for life to continue. No one has ever demonstrated how mindless chemistry makes molecules start self-replicating without already having a functioning system in place. So basically, abiogenesis cannot be observed in a lab because we can't make it happen, and when scientists do try, they need intelligent guidance, which contradicts the whole point. Science says, trust us, it's all random. All right, ladies and gentlemen, gather round for today's totally scientific thought experiment. So we're told that life, the universe, and everything is just one big cosmic oopsie-daisy, a random, unguided accident where dirt magically turned into brains and bacteria worked really, really hard to turn into elephants. A motivational story, really. But here's the kicker. The very same scientists who preach randomness did it are the same people who expect their experiments to work every single time. Uniformity? Fofts, who needs that? Let's talk about the uniformity in nature problem, or what I like to call why atheist scientists secretly love God but won't admit it. You see, these same people go to work every day, walk into a lab, and expect gravity to still be gravity. No floating test tubes, please. But wait, they want us to believe in randomness. Atoms to behave like, well, atoms. Because exploding labs are bad. Chemicals to react exactly the same way they did yesterday. Science only works if it's repeatable. Do you see the irony here? These guys don't step into the lab thinking, oh boy, I sure hope bacteria evolved into an elephant overnight. No, they expect order, predictability, and structure, things that randomness could never produce. But when it comes to the origin of life, suddenly it's randomness, not uniformity of nature. It was all just chaos, bro. Trust me. Just give us more grant money. And here's the best part. They need you to believe this nonsense so they can keep selling it to you in textbooks, documentaries, and cool CGI videos of fish walking on land. Why doesn't gravity take a day off? Let's really push this randomness thing to its limits. 1. Why doesn't gravity just decide to turn off on Tuesdays? Seriously, I could use the weight loss. Why don't atoms just wake up one morning and go, nah, I'm tired of being an atom. I think I'll be a unicorn today. If randomness is king, why do we expect science to even make sense? If everything is just the accidental byproduct of a meaningless explosion, why do we live in a world of perfect mathematical precision, logical structure, and repeatable experiments? The truth? Because the universe was designed, not random. They trust regularity for grant money, but preach randomness for you to buy their books. They want to be rich on both ends. We who learn from them are real fools. Atheist scientists depend on the uniformity of nature to keep their jobs, publish their papers, and make money. But when it comes to explaining how the universe got here, suddenly it's random chance, guys, just believe. They don't trust randomness when mixing chemicals. They don't trust randomness when building rockets. They don't trust randomness when diagnosing diseases. But when it comes to where life and intelligence came from, suddenly, they want you to believe pure, unguided chaos made all of this happen. Translation: shut up and believe the randomness so we can keep making money. The Bible had it right the whole time. While they're busy selling you fairy tales, the Bible has had the answer all along. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Not randomness, but a creator. Colossians 1:16-17. By him all things were created, and in him all things hold together. That includes gravity, atoms, and your brain. Hebrews 1:3. He upholds the universe by the word of his power. That's why your coffee cup isn't floating away right now. Meanwhile, pseudoscience atheist says, one day a lightning bolt hit a puddle and made you. Yeah, no thanks. Final thoughts. So let's sum it up. Science depends on order, predictability, and laws that never change. Evolutionary scientists preach that everything started by random chaos. But they still need uniformity to keep their jobs and get taxpayers grant money. And they want you to believe randomness so they can sell their nonsense through their books. So, tell me again, who's really trusting this kind of science to make atheists rich if you trust order, laws, and logic? Guess what? You just admitted the universe was designed. But don't worry, the atheists will be back tomorrow using uniform scientific laws to prove randomness caused everything, while cashing in their research grants by believing in order, but selling us their books based on randomness so that they can become rich, and making us fools who believe them. So, what do you think? Is it unseen randomness or observed order and design?